Welcome, viewers. Welcome to Midnight Coffee with Faisal. And it's a very beautiful Saturday evening, and I wish everyone a healthy and happy Saturday. You had a very good, productive, and enjoyful Saturday. And as usual, time check now is 12 midnight Saturday, and now it's going into Sunday now here in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. For those who are viewing live with us, please shout out in the box as to where you are viewing this live stream from. Yeah, and also please shout out in the box as to what your opinion and comments, and also some questions if you have, that we can take up during the live stream. Yeah, and today in this episode we will having a masterclass, and we're going to talk about the time. Yeah, time, especially in running projects. Yeah, where we talk about insufficient time and all those things. So before that, just a brief introduction about myself. I'm an independent management consultant, yeah, and a business project management coach that helps clients to implement solutions. And when I said that why I use business project management is that every time when I introduce myself as a project manager or project leader or project sponsor, many times that people have the perception that I come from the construction industry or real estate development or architecture or engineering or running a engineering PMC or project management company. And they are not wrong, yeah, because project management has been in the sphere of management for quite some time, because it's part of the management evolution. It's part of management evolution, where theories of management as a theory of management progresses, a new inputs or new innovation are being put in place. And scientific project management was part of the scientific management era, where people are using the concept of project management, critical path scheduling, and all those things, and that gave the birth to Gantt chart, yeah, which sometimes people misconstrue it as a bar chart. Yeah, actually, a bar chart is a bar chart in financial. It's looking at or in charting, where you look at the trends and all those things. But a Gantt chart will talk about the activities that you need to do, and you map it against the schedule, which is the calendar, where you look at the working calendars, working days and non-working days, and to see how much time do you have. Yeah, again, time is a very sensitive issue. Yeah, that I involved with projects for more than 30 years. 30 years of a project environment, and many team members, even project sponsors, and that sitting at sea level are also complaining about time. Yeah. So what we'll do is that on this episode, we talk about managing the time, that the project leaders and all those things, and we will demystify. Yeah, we will demystify the issues regarding time, whether it's at a project leader or project team members, or whether it's at a personal level or at the organizational level. And before that, let's look at what is the big fuss about the project management. What is the big fuss about? Why people are talking about project management and all those things? Yeah. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back, viewers. And as we talk about having a masterclass for this episode, and let's recap as to what we have discussed earlier. Yeah, and if you remember, in the previous episode, we talk about work. Yeah, most of us go to work, and we talk about work and. Work comprises of operations and projects. This is just a recap from the previous episodes. It says that when we talk about operations, it's a safe zone where we talk about predictable, where the processes, SOPs, and all those things are well defined, and it is very much repetitive, like in manufacturing industry and all those things. On the other hand, a project is something that not a safe zone. It's a killing field actually, as I mentioned that in projects, people who are working in projects environment has to be willing to go to war. That means we talk about war here. It's an acronym for willing, able, and ready to live within that very in an environment. Yeah, environment that is full of risk and uncertainty. Yeah. So when we talk about project environment and how work constitute the projects and operations and all those things, it all depends on the organization that we are operating. Yeah. So if you look at the diagram in what's being displayed here is that if you look at diagram one, yeah, if you look at diagram one, you will see that uh, in a process-based organization, say for example in a manufacturing industry, yeah, operations constitute 80% of their work content. Yeah, we talk about manufacturing and all those things. And 20%, yeah, 20% will involve doing project work. When we talk about project work here, we talk about quality improvement, process improvement, process re-engineering, and maybe some of the activities include, yeah, technology upgrading or machinery upgrading or something like that. Yeah, that will require downtime of the manufacturing plant and all those things. You have to plan so that you won't affect the output, yeah, the throughput of the process. On diagram two, yeah, we look at for diagram two, we look at companies. These are some of those companies that have a mix of uh, operations and projects, and these are companies that are operating in the environment where you're talking about managing the changes and all those things, especially in big conglomerates, yeah, especially in big conglomerates, where you talk about, yes, you have your own operations that you need to look at, which constitute the 50% of the work content, and you have projects that you need to look at, where you talk about strategic planning, strategic implementation or execution of your strategy, and then looking at the changes in the business environment, and how do you want to manage those changes. And most of these companies usually have well defined or mature I wouldn't say a mature PMO or project management office or transformation management office. Yeah, so you have a balance of work, which is operations and also projects. If you look at diagram three, this is where a project-based organization. When you talk about a project-based organization, most of the work are project-based. These are people in the creative industries, people in the software, or we talk about technology solution companies, because most of the projects, most of the work content are project-based. They look at projects by projects. So if you talk about those in creative industries, you talk about the show or the film that they are making, or the sitcom or whatever that they want to air. So every week it will be a different episodes. Yeah, just like my live stream is a project content. Yeah, because every episode is different. Yeah, in terms of content. So, but there will still be 20% of operation, because this is where the human capital, the finance support services, the supporting services will need to come in. Yeah, will need to come in to support the business entity. Yeah. So in technology company is the same. We talk about different client requiring different or customized solution, and you have to come out with a solution for the client. Yeah. When you talk about solution for client, different clients have different specs or requirement. You can talk about, you can propose, yeah, a standardized, so to speak, in terms of the solutions. But usually, from my past experience in technology companies, is that it all depends on the company appetite for technology. Some of them would like to still use the old ways, or a legacy system and all those things. So you have to have a blend, and with that, you need to do some customization. So this is where, when we talk about work, yeah, when we talk about work, it all depends on the percentage of operations and projects. Where operations is BAU, business as usual, and I've said this many times. Yeah, during the pandemic, companies are looking at new business model, because the current model, or the model that is that being used before the pandemic, or the pre-pandemic, can no longer be applied, because of the movement control order, because of all those lockdown and all those things. So you have to find new ways of doing things to deliver the result, the expected result. So a lot of companies during the pandemic is moving from 2 to 1, 2 to 3, or even company in one, they are increasing from 1 to 2. That means they are increasing their project environment, because they need to find new ways and means to do it, because there's no more BAU. Yeah, there is no more BAU, because BAU is something that is no longer viable at that point of time. Yeah, and it's great that in 2022, now this year, that things are beginning to pick up. I see that a lot of things are beginning to pick up since middle of last year, middle of 2021. Things are beginning to pick up, and towards the end of the year, and then now in 2022, people are moving, yeah, into a new the current norm, which is the next norm. Yeah, because the new norm was in 2020, and with that norm, that is that current norm that we are living. Of course, the pandemic is still not over yet. You still have a lot of variant and all those things. So let's pray hard, yeah, and work towards not getting another lockdown, because I don't think the economy, not only in Malaysia here, but economies around the world, I don't think they can afford to have another major lockdown, because it will be affecting a lot of businesses and the survivability of not only individual, but company, but also the country itself. Yeah, so what we'll do is that most of the time is that when I engage with all these project team members, whether pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and even now, and the most common phrases that I usually get is that I just don't have the time. Yeah. So a lot of project leaders, project champion, project sponsors, project team members, they are complaining about time, not having time, enough time. So when we talk about not having enough time, and sometimes I was sometimes taken aback. Yeah, I was sometimes taken aback that if the working level of staff who says that I don't have time, then I can accept that, because that is the level of responsibility, scope of work, and all those things. But when I just a couple of weeks ago, when I was coaching a C level, yeah, when I was coaching a C level, C suite. These are the C level, CFO, CSOs, and all those things. And when I was having a discussion with them, a meeting with them on the progress, and I was saying that I don't think that you guys are progressing as fast as you guys should be doing, because the need of the organization is that they want it fast. And when I speak to their C level, then there's was one few of them were saying that, says to me that, Dr. Faisal, this is not the only thing that we do here, you know. And I was taken aback. I said, guys, look, you guys are the C level, you know. You guys are the one who wants it, and who you guys are the one who wants to put in the project through, because you need to drive your organization to the next level. And if you at the C level is saying that you guys don't have time and you have other things to do, then imagine, what about the level below you, the -2, -3, or the manager's level, or the executive level, or the working level. It would be a shock if they were to hear their C level is talking, or is saying, or venting out. I would say venting out, yeah, venting out in that manner. So this is something that I was having some brief discussion and those things, and then I say, okay, maybe uh, managing or demystifying the time in project would be a good masterclass topic, and that's where we are here today. This week on Midnight Coffee, we talk about how to work out our time management. Yeah, and I know that many of you have attended, or if not attended a formal training, you would have read books on time management, or you have listened to webinars, you have listened to speakers talking about time management and all those things. And you say that, okay, it's good and all those things, but when it comes to application, it's a different story. And this is where sometimes when I sit down with them, viewers, yeah, for those who are viewing this live, thank you for viewing the live stream. Please shout out in the box as to where you are viewing this from. Yeah, and what I'm trying to say here is that when I sit down with them and have a one-on-one chat and one-on-one coaching, or offline discussion and all those things, it reflects that two things as to why sometimes people are complaining about not having time. There are two things, because we view things, we view time, as I will go later, is that it is single dimension, but while time in our life is multi-dimensional. Yeah, so when you start viewing it in a single dimension, this is where you have issues in managing the time. But the crux of it is that I notice why people don't have time and all those things is, number one is that, as I said, in project environment, it's full of uncertainty, and there is no SOP. Yeah, there is no antidote. There is no vaccine, so to speak. Yeah, for managing time, because it's full of risk and uncertainty, and some of them actually um, actually fear of the change. So one of the biggest obstacle, or the cause of this I don't have time thingy, is number one is the fear of change. That means they don't know how to maneuver the change, because in project environment the dynamics is very dynamic. Yeah, it's very dynamic. You have to be agile, you have to be adaptive. And if you're so used to be working in a BAU, in a business as usual, a well-defined process, full compliance to the processes and the needs and requirements of the regulatory requirements and all those things, when the minute you start deviating from that, you feel uncomfortable. And sometimes the fear of the unknown, it becomes a barrier. And because of that, you don't know how to maneuver yourself within that change. Then you would not be able to deliver things on time, and you blame time. I don't have time, I have this, I have that, and I have so many things that I need to do, and all those things, and operations and all those things, meetings to attend and all those things. So at the end of the day, I'm not able to deliver the project deliverable. So this is where we talk about, number one is the fear of change, because they don't know how to live within the project environment. Yeah, and time usually is the result is that you blame it on time. Yeah, the other part is the competency of the individual. Well, this is where we talk about Peter's principle. Peter's principle is that we are promoted to the level of incompetency. This is where you and I, we have to continuously learn. We have to continuously learn to learn a new technology, or new way of doing things, or new methodology, or new concepts, or new philosophies, because what works in 30 years ago or 15 years ago may not work today. So that is why I always tell people, people brag about what they have done and what they have achieved and all those things. They have managed multi-billion dollars worth of projects and all those things. And I said to them, yes, very true. That's very impressive. Thank you. But what got you here, yeah, what got you here may not necessarily take you there. Yeah. So uh, all those experiences that they have over the past 15 or 20 years and all those things has brought them to the level today here. But that does not the guarantee, if you stop learning, if that does not guarantee that it will take you to the next level. So this is where they are now today, and then there is no guarantee that with that current knowledge and experience will take them there. They have to look at new things, new knowledge, and new skills, and acquire what we call new competencies. Yeah, they have to acquire new competencies so that it will be able to take them to the next level. Yeah, to the next level. So uh, as I said, because of this, they are in a C position. Yeah, sometimes to open up and admit that they have this obstacle called fear is sometimes can be very, very bold and brave, because not many people at that level, at senior positions, they are willing to admit that they have issues with managing the change, living in the world of project management that is full of risk and uncertainty, because functionally they are good. They are superb individual that have all the knowledge within that functional areas. But the minute you go into the cross-functional in project environment, uh, it is something that is maybe new, and don't know how to maneuver themselves, can be an obstacle. But to admit that they have the issue of uh, fear is very brave of them. Yeah. The other one is that admitting that you have competency issues. That means I don't know how to do project management. As you see in the trailer earlier, yeah, if you can remember the short video clip that I showed earlier, is that everybody claims that they know about project management. Everybody claims that they know how to run projects, and still and still 80% of projects are facing a lot of challenges in terms of execution. So we need to say that if, for example, that you claim that you know how to run projects and the projects under you are facing challenges, that means there must be issues. That means as a project leader, is that sometimes the knowledge that you have, the knowledge set or the competency set that you have may work 15 years ago, but in 2022, which is today now, those sort of knowledge or skills and attitude, may no longer work. May no longer work. So this is where we have to identify what are the major cause of that particular obstacle. Once you know what is the cause, what are the obstacles, then we can design the intervention. If fear of change is the cause of the problem, the root cause of the problem, then we talk about going into change management, leading change, and all those things, upgrading the competencies. But if you talk about competencies, then we go into all those, whether it's formal and informal training, and then maybe go through more coaching session and mentoring, especially looking at how we do things, and true enough, even like for me, for example, I'm 60 plus, and I learn from my children. They are very young, very agile, and sometimes they are more faster in terms of all those technology items. So it's okay for me to learn from them. So this is where we have to accept that we don't know everything about everything. There are certain things that we need to upgrade ourselves in terms of competency. Now, if we identify that, then we are able to design the necessary intervention. But if you, shall I say, remember we talked about in my previous episodes where we talk about people who are not willing to learn and think that they know everything, is that they go into a state of ignorance. And when you fall into the trap of being ignorant, when people come to you, you go into the mode of arrogant, you shout at people, you belittle people and all things. But at the end of the day, you yourself don't know, but you are afraid. You are not brave enough to admit that you have competency issues and that you require relearning or reskilling or rethinking. So this is where these are the obstacles that you are facing, then we are able to design the necessary intervention. Now, let's take it at that you guys, viewers and also listeners, you are, how should I say, you are very competent. You are very competent, and you are also willing to take up those challenges. That means you embrace change. You are not fear. You are not afraid of change, and you have the competency. Okay, putting that in mind, that means you are ready. That means you have the competency, and you also embrace the change. You are not fear. You do not fear change. So what is it that you need to do? These are the same thing that you will face. That in terms of managing your time, and you have to understand time. You have to understand time. Time is actually something that exists equally. You and I, we have the same amount of time. I have 24 hours a day. You have 24 hours a day. Your peers have 24 hours a day. Your superior, your boss have 24 hours a day. Your staff have 24 hours a day. Nobody has more hours than anybody else. No, we have something, that is equally available to us. And one thing about time is that it is something that you cannot feel, you cannot touch, and you cannot own. Time is there. It exists. Time is, I call it a being. A being. Time is a being that exists and is leased to us. We don't own it. The supreme being, the creator, God has created time. And time is something that is loaned to us, is leased to us, and sooner or later we'll be out of time. When we're out of time, that's where we cease to exist. Yeah, we cease to exist. So time is something that uh, you cannot own. Yeah, and you cannot trade. If you can trade time, let me assure you, if you can trade time, you will see that a lot of billionaires, yeah, a lot of billionaires will be trading their time with their wealth if they can afford it. Yeah, but and one is gone, it's lost forever. It's not something that you can buy back, the time that you have missed and all those things. So remember when I've met with many people, is that recently and everybody was saying that, oh, now we are in 2022, and then people said, what happened to 2021? Forget about 2021, what happened to 2020? Yeah. So we feel that the time moves so fast that in 2020 we feel like it's just like the whole year is just like 1 month, and the month in the 2020 or 2021 is just like a week, and a week is just like a day. It's just like, oh my god, I think it's just like yesterday we talked about it, and then but it's already a week or 2 weeks later, and then people say that, oh my god, and then the whole day is just like feel like 1 hour. The whole day just feel like 1 hour. So the time is so it's moving so fast. We feel that it's moving so fast, but we cannot touch it. It's there. We cannot touch it. We cannot own it. We cannot trade it. And once it's lost, it's gone forever. Yeah, that's one thing that we have to understand about time. Before I go into the how do we demystify the mystery of time? Yeah, and time is moving at warp speed at this point of time. Yeah, especially in the last few years. Yeah. We notice that. Okay, so this is where when we talk about most of you would be familiar with this, when you talk about managing time, if you have attended a formal training or you would have read the books, you talk about you have to applaud it, what is important, what is urgent, and then you address things like, give the most attention to the high importance of high urgency and all those things, and say, come on, Dr. Faisal, don't throw this to the table. But I want to show you the the time thing that we're going to discuss. Yeah, as much as all these things that you have seen, you have experienced, and you have tried. Maybe you have tried and failed. Yeah. Uh, the question that you need to answer is that who decide? Who decide what is high important? What is high in terms of importance and in terms of urgency? Who decide? Who decide what is not important or not urgent? Who decide? If it is somebody else is deciding for you, then you are not in control of your time. And you are not in control. When you are not in control of your time, then you don't have time. Because you are living in somebody else's time dimension. As I said, we look at time from a single dimension, which I will go shortly in greater detail. But if you are looking at all those activities that is of high importance and high urgency and all those things, it's the critical decisions that you need to make. There is a decision point. Whether you are a team member, whether you are a project manager, whether you are a project sponsor, whether you are C-level or whether you are at a staff level, does not matter. But who decide? Who decide what is important, what is urgent? If you are letting other people to decide for you, then you lose control. And when you don't have control over the time, that is where you end up with not having enough time. Yeah. So this is where this is a typical uh, calendar. I'm trying to pull out a calendar for Malaysia, especially, and you would see that every month there will be holidays. Yeah, and I'm trying to find the list of the holidays, and I've removed all my activities. This is November 2022, which is coming up to the end of the year, and this is how we plan. We will fit in the slots, on Monday, what do I want to do in the morning, and then what I want to do next, what meeting do I want to attend, and then what meeting do I have to attend, which meeting I want to call, and then who do I have to meet, who I have to engage or socialize, and all those things. So you will fill up the whole detail. So that's why I say we are looking at this 2D, yeah, this 2D calendar, and we are filling it out from a single dimension. Yeah, we are filling out from a single dimension. But this is what, when we want to manage time, yeah, we want to manage time. This is where we talk about in our daily life, yeah, in our daily life. This is how it looks like. This is a typical schedule for a particular day. Let's look at the dimensions. That's why I said that we have to look at, if you see, we have the work dimension, we have the self dimension, I mean ourselves, we have our family members, I mean our time with our family, and we have a social dimension. Social dimension here means that you go out with your friends, whether you go out during the weekend, you go out for movies, you go out for dine out. I mean, going out for food, drinks, or whatever not that you have, that you always do. And then you also talk about games, like soccer, or you talk about other things, yeah, sports activities and all those things. So these are social activities that you need to do, and sometimes people talk about community services where you are part of the NGO and all those things. So all those things comprises, these are the dimensions that you need to look at. So if you look at our previous calendar, I mean the previous slides that I showed earlier, is that we look at the calendar from one dimension. We only fill up the activities that may be pertaining to work. Yeah, when is the meeting and all those things. We sometimes overlook. I'm not saying we don't do. We overlook the other dimensions because it's not because it's designed. The calendar is designed in such a way that it's linear from 8:30 and all those things. Sorry, from 000 to 23 or 2400 hours. I mean 2300 hours, and then it goes back to 000. So you go into a very linear sort sequence, yeah, of activity, but you are not looking at the multiple dimension. Of course, with today's software, you when you do your calendaring, you can put all those icons next to the calendar, whether this is social, or whether this is work, or this is family, or whatever not. And in they have their terms. Some call it charms, some call it whatever not, that you can put aside beside your activity. So that is something that the technology is able to assist. But yeah, and people are no longer using the paper calendar. But regardless whether you're using a old school calendar based a paper based calendar, or whether you are technology savvy where you are using the application that you using, always remember that the app is supposed to assist us. Yeah, the biggest app, the most important app is this one, the brain. That is a brain. If people know that this brain is an app, I think a lot of people will start using the brain. If not, people will just still rely on the app on the mobile, or whether it's iOS or whether it's Android. People are relying so much on the app. People forgot that the biggest app, the most powerful app, is the brain, and people are people not using the brain so much nowadays. Yeah. Okay. But coming back here is that this is how you schedule your typical day, and you have to schedule your time in a multiple dimension. In one block, break it into 4, 3, 2, or 5 or whatever not as and people ask me usually how many blocks should I include in my, how many quadrants should I have in one calendar day. I said just have 4. Don't have too many, because when you start having too many, then you would be confused which one is which. Yeah, just have 4. Your work, yes, you will work from 9 to 5, for example. In this example, yeah, you work 9 to 5, and then yourself, of course, you sleep from maybe from 11:30 or maybe from midnight. You wake up at 6 and then start preparing for your breakfast and all those things, start driving to work and all those things, and then you go into work, and then by 6 o'clock you start packing, and then you go back to your house, where you spend time with your family from 7 to maybe to 11, helping the kids, having dinner at home, or having helping kids with their homework or schoolwork and whatever the things that you do with the family. And all those things will occupy the time, yeah. All those things will occupy the time bucket, yeah. So the meaning to say that you pull it all down, and then it occupies the time bucket. And this time bucket is that there will be a lot of trade-off, because say for example you work exceeding the working hours. That means you have to stay back and complete the projects and whatever not. I'm not saying that you have to stop at 5, but there are times where I deal with clients, and sometimes client at 4 o'clock call me and say, Dr. Faisal, we want your proposal, or we want the report, or we want whatever the thing is first thing Monday morning, or tomorrow morning, first thing tomorrow morning. Meaning to say that I have to work beyond 5 to generate the proposal, to generate the report, and whatever they have you, so that I'm able to give my client and submit the client. Although the client, the deadline is negotiable, but these are the trade-offs. And we have to learn how to negotiate. We have to learn how to negotiate with each of those dimensions. And most often than not, people are taking two extreme. Number one, they are looking at more time for self and couldn't care less about the rest, or they spend so much time about other things, not for themselves. So these are the two extreme in terms of the continuum, and this is where you need to find the balance. So a lot of people talk about work-life balance and all those things. I said work-life balance is a myth. I mean, it's it's not something should exist, because if you enjoy your work, there is no such thing as a work-life balance. It's a passion that you are doing. Yeah, and I know people who play golf can spend hours on the golf course, and they just enjoy, because they love the game. Yeah. And I know people who go out fishing and all those things. I mean, the hobbies and their hobbies and whatever. No, they can spend 2 days, one night, or out in the middle of the ocean doing all those deep sea fishing and all those things. They enjoy it. They don't feel the time. They feel the time when they have to pack up and go, and they say, "Oh my God, is it time for us to go?" Because they have the passion. They enjoy doing it. So if you don't like doing what you are doing, then you have an issue. So this is where sometimes enjoying what you do, or having a passion in what you are doing, is also important in terms of managing your time. Okay, now moving on. So this is how when we talk about every day, you look at the whole day and fill up the dimension, have a control, because you will have trade-offs. Believe me. If you are not in control, your boss will be in control, and all this time you would see that the work bars, the work dimension will be full of red, and the self, family, and social will be missing. So what I'm saying here is that you have to identify every day for 1 week. Try it. today is now is Sunday here in Malaysia. Try to work out your next week, Monday to Friday. What do you want to do? Build it along the 4 dimensions that I'm talking about. Yeah, and of course there will be some uh, uh, items, yeah, urgent item again that will come in that requires your attention, emergencies or whatever not. So that will also will come into your time bucket, and then you would see that there will be some trade-offs. Yeah, there will be some trade-off that you will have to pay. But what I'm trying to get at is that uh, time management must fit our daily life. We have to fit the time to the way we are living. Yeah, uh, it is not the other way around, because sometimes, sometimes we are chasing time. Yeah, we are chasing time rather than making time, which I will cover shortly. But what we're having here, I'm not going to be judgmental. Yeah, I'm not going to be judgmental. But this is the scenery, the scenario that I'm seeing that is happening nowadays. I mean, this is before the pandemic, and during this session, supposed to be a weekend, supposed to be a family lunch, but I'm seeing that it is kind of sad, where I'm seeing that each individual parent are looking at their devices. Yeah, they are looking at their devices, and the kids, are trying to get their attention. The kids are trying to get the attention of the children, of their parents. I mean, this is it is a sad state. It is happening, and it is a sad state, and I believe all of you viewers experiencing the same thing. You will see that it is happening around you. People are going, and as I said, I don't want to be judgmental. Maybe they are running a multi-billion dollars worth of projects and businesses, and they require a quick decision and all those things, and emergency decision that they need to make. So as I said, think of it from the positive side. They have to make decision. But if you're scrolling IG, Instagram pages, or Facebook pages, or LinkedIn pages during that time, then this is not something that you're going to do, that you need to do, because you are using those time, and you are trading off the time with the family. Remember, we talked about the dimension just now, and I can feel, I can empathize with the children trying to get the attention from their parents. Yeah. Okay, and then this is also another scenario. It's the same. It's a different setting, and maybe they are playing games, or maybe they are looking at the stock exchange, or maybe they are, as I say, is a business decision or whatever that they need to make, or maybe this is a business meeting. Fine, well and good. But as I said, yeah. What we need to look at is that in managing our time, it's not about the quantity of time. We must fit our life. We have to work on quality of time, not the quantity of time. There's no point spending 10 hours with the family, yeah, or you decided to go on a holiday with the family, 3 days 2 nights somewhere, by the beach, or by the mountainside, or by whatever the thing is that you decided to go with the family, and you have 2 days 1 night, and within all that days you are on your device. So, where is the quality time? So this is where we talk about quality and quantity, and I've seen also that is at a family level, but in workplace, there is no difference. Yeah, there is no difference in the workplace, and my boss can vouch for me that he enjoy having meeting with me. Because before I go for a meeting, I will just text him, or I would email him, or I would call him. I said, I would like to sit down and discuss with you on these items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just put 4, 5 items that I need to discuss, and he gave me whatever the date and time and the venue. So I just go and meet up with him, and then I said, okay, Dato, this is what we need to look at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number one, this is the issue. This is the solution. This is the second. This is the issue. This is the solution. Third one, and the fourth one, and so on and so forth. And then by half an hour, or maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes, the meeting is done, concluded. So this is done. Okay, all right. Anything else? No. And then he will ask me, is there anything for you, Dr. Faisal? No. Okay. All right, let's conclude the meeting. And then off I go. And then he will say, oh, Dr. Faisal, I enjoy meeting with you, very fast. I said, no. Yeah, because we talk about quality, not quantity. It's not the amount of hours that we need to spend. But I've seen meetings at corporate level. I've sat in meetings in corporate level, as I said, at C level or whether it's staff level. It will have what we call a preamble to the meeting. The meeting is supposed to start at 1. Oh, sorry, 1 is lunchtime. My bad. And the meeting is supposed to start at 2. Yeah, when you start the meeting at 2, but they have a meeting preamble. 15 minutes to 20 minutes spend time talking on what lunch that they had, what sort of lunch that they had earlier. And then they talk about the shop, they talk about the food, they talk about the chef, they talk about the ingredients and whatever have you. And then okay. And then people are not appearing on time. People are supposed to start at meeting at 2. People will start, how would I say, trailing in, just like the rain, dropping one drop at a time. People will come in at 2:05, some people come in at 2:06, some people come at 2:10, and some people will text they will be late because they have other meeting that is not completed yet, or they're stuck in traffic because they go out for lunch and whatever have you. So at the end of the day, while having this waiting for quorum to complete, they will be talking about what they had. They're spending time on the preamble of the meeting. And then you start the meeting, and within that meeting, and then you start not focusing on the agenda, and then start diverting, deviating from the agenda, and then start talking about things that is not supposed to be discussed within the meeting and all those things. And then you spend at the end of the day is that you're supposed to finish the meeting at 3. You end up meeting at 3:30 or maybe 4, and you have another meeting coming up, back-to-back meeting at 4 o'clock or maybe at 3:30. So you will be delayed on the next meeting and the next meeting and the next meeting. Because why? Because we are not focusing on the quality of the meeting. And this is something that I have experienced, and I know I've worked with a very prominent figure before, and he is he enjoy meeting with the employees or the staff or he call it the SMT, senior management team, because he's alone. I guess he's a lonely guy because he's a divorcee and then all those things. And then at the end of the day, he spend most time in the office and meetings after meeting after meeting after meeting. And as I said, I do what I preach. So over a period of time, yes, I learned a lot from him when I was under the employment. But if it is taking too much of my family time, my social time, and my self time, and the whole bar is filled up red with work, I think it's time for me to leave. So I left. Yeah, I left. I worked there for about 6 months, 8 months, and then I left. And then a few months later, a year later, they start calling and asking me to come back because and all. Since I came back, and then I put my terms and condition, and if it doesn't change, and then I left again. So, meaning to say that you decide. That's why I say at the end of the day, I mean, if you have the competency and you are not afraid of change, you have to make critical decisions so that you are able to manage your time. Because if you allow other people to control your time, then you are not You're not controlling the time itself. Yeah. So you have to fit time into life versus fitting life into time. Because if we fit time into our life, we will make time. We will find time and we will make time. But if we fit life into the time, then we will be chasing time. If we allow somebody else to control our time, our schedule, and all those things, we will be chasing time. Yeah, and we will never have enough of time, because whatever time that you are chasing, as I said, is gone. Is gone. And time is moving very fast, and you cannot trade the time. So you cannot be chasing time, but you need to make time to make things happen in your schedule. Yeah. So what I suggest to you is that have a it's a Sunday now. It's almost 1 a.m. in Sunday morning. Yeah, in Malaysia. For viewers, I would suggest that you model your good self that you want to be today. That means start working on your next week schedule and build around your dimension. I've suggested 4 dimensions within that time, but as I said, it's up to you. Yeah, because maybe that four for me is enough, but maybe for you it's not enough. You have multiple more dimensions that you need to look at. But being an independent consultant with entertaining various clients at various times and all those things, and believe me, it's very challenging. But I said, I have to make time for certain things and all those things. Yeah. And that's the reason why I do live sessions, because I don't want to spend time doing editing, recording, and all those things. So I don't do editing. Take it at face value. It is what it is. This session is finished. That's it. Gone. Next session. Whatever flaws, whatever things that's happening, and all those things, does not matter. I mean, that's what we call life anyway. So what? Live streaming. So I don't want to spend time editing and all those things. Yeah. And then you talk about there is no shortcut to success. If you want to be successful, you have to have a will. You have to admit that you have this obstacle, you have this problem, and then you will find ways and means to clear the obstacle. And when there's a will, there will be a way for you to move forward. Yeah. But when there is no will, there will be an excuse, and that's why a lot of people have a lot of excuses. Yeah, a lot of excuses saying that, and unfortunately, because time is a being that cannot come back and hit you on your physical part of the body, cannot give you a slap on your face, cannot give you a punch on your face, or cannot give you a knock on your head. So you keep on blaming time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Because these are all mere excuses. Yeah, mere excuses that you are giving yourself, and also giving and allowing people to control your time. Yeah. So with that, I would conclude the session, and I hope this session is beneficial to you. You would be able to use some of the pointers that I have put forward. Please, by all means, you can still put in your comments, put in your thoughts in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to take it maybe with you one on one, or maybe I will take it again and I will collate all those feedback, and I will see you in the next masterclass with a new topic. Yeah. And before we end, let's see what you call that things that is happening on the chat line. And Farah Faisal, a regular, trying my best to manage my time well in 2022. And as I said, Farah is a regular on this show. Thank you, Farah, for viewing the stream live and your comments. And she's also a YouTuber, and she also have a vlog. And she if you Google up YouTube Farah Faisal, you will see that there are good content. Yeah, good content on her YouTube. And please visit her YouTube, Farah Faisal, and subscribe and like the content if you like it. And then what you do is that, as I said, she is working on these projects that she is doing every week. Is a project based, so she has to 80% of her work content is a project based. She is living in the project world, so to speak, and it can be challenging. And as I said, it can be challenging managing the time. Managing time. All right. With that, I like to say thank you to all the viewers who stayed with me until 1 a.m. Sunday morning as normal. Please, we are still not out of this pandemic. Yeah, we're still not out of this pandemic yet. Please stay safe. Be vigilant about your surrounding and all those things, and take care of yourself, your family, and the community, and hope that the pandemic will be over soon. Yeah, so that we are able to get back to life before pandemic. Yeah. Okay, with that, I would like to say good night to some of you who is on the other part of the world, and a very good morning, and have a blessed Sunday. And thank you for viewing the Midnight Coffee with Faisal and attending to this masterclass. God bless.
Thank you, everyone.